Hi there, this is JP Block, and my blog this week is called 21st Century Mad Person. As a college professor, I hit a bump in the road some years back that I have yet to find a way around. In today's world, a bachelor level college degree is what a high school diploma was when I was growing up. Expanding one's mind through knowledge has become a fringe benefit of getting a degree, and some students would gladly trade it in for a better guarantee of employment upon graduation. Lists are compiled of the best academic programs in different fields, but such rankings are taking a back seat to which schools or majors yield graduates that make the most money. Today's college student, whether rich or poor, black or white, male or female, has little time for esoteric pursuits. If it does not relate to making money, why should anyone care? As a white baby boomer who came of age in hip locales, I spent a great deal of time contemplating the universe and all that stuff. Staying up all night in conversation aimed at being profound was a kind of holy act. Though at times I wax nostalgic for those pots of coffee and ennui and psychic experiments, I empathize with today's college student from my own experiences with poverty. The cost of living has risen to dire heights, and young people are paying into a social security system that may not be there for them to collect when they retire. Careers increasingly call for credentials in the form of pieces of paper. I know how it feels to be desperate to acquire them. Had I been independently wealthy, I might never have gone to college, even though I am glad I did for reasons beyond getting a career. But the true inspiration for pursuing my PhD was that I did not then, nor do I now, expect to be in anyone's will. I sucked at manual labor and hated the tedium of 9-to-5 office work. I stopped believing my missing father would show up one day with a suitcase full of money just for me. I would have lasted in a monastery for 5 minutes. Going hungry or getting evicted for non-payment of rent is a learning experience only up to a point. I remember thinking I'd come a long way when I landed my first low-paying office work, even though it quickly bored me and I was quickly given my walking papers. Much of my youth was wasted worrying about where my next meal was coming from and engaging in psychological masochism over my inability to hold down a job. Somehow I had the wisdom to realize that life as a professor would suit me. Every semester is different, the hours are flexible, there is time off in the summer to do research. Short of winning a lottery jackpot, I realized that the university life was as close as I'd get to feeling independent yet secure. There used to be a comic strip called Lil Abner about a dim-witted but good-natured hillbilly who worked as a mattress tester. Only in the world of the funnies do people avoid conflicts with each other, not to mention sleeping for pay. While it's true that being a professor provides one with a certain flexibility, it takes hard work. It may not be a 9-to-5 job, but it is likely to require more than 40 hours a week, even if some of the time is spent alone, grading, planning classes, reading in one's field to stay current. This is without counting committee work and research. As if that were not enough, as a taxpayer, I am made to support government agendas that I may not agree with. By working and paying my taxes, I am upholding the status quo, which is the one thing I never wanted to do. And even worse, as a professor, I train and enable other people to do the same. If you come from a poor background like I did, it may take a while longer for the patina of your career to fade. Maybe you'll even be among the lucky few who truly love what they do for a living. In fact, at times I have loved being a professor, but I have not changed the world as I thought I would when I was young. I've been too busy working. This is the roadblock I cannot get past. How can I help the next generation of leaders when I am giving them a ticket to conformity and the status quo? The sound of silence still beckons, maybe not as melodramatically as it once did, but I still hear it every day. Some never hear it at all. It doesn't pay the bills. Indeed, it sort of anti-pays the bills. My field is sociology, and about half a century ago, seminal books such as White Collar, The American Middle Classes, The Organization Man, and The One-Dimensional Man cautioned against the alienation awaiting one who pursued conventional roads to monetary success. Films and rock songs also did so, and more recently, Mad Men gave us the well-dressed WASP male, whose biggest enemy is his own alienated self. For women and persons of color, admission into the higher tiers of the bureaucratic workplace may seem more like newfound independence than alienation, and all persons should have equal access to it. Just don't be too surprised if it doesn't do for you what you think it's going to do for you. It's quite a step up from low-status, low-paying work, but it's more than a few footsteps away from paradise. You may wake up one morning and wonder where your life went. Thank you.